Check this out. I know you have always dreamed of performing in Carnegie Hall. So I think this 2023 to 2024 season at Sound Espressivo would be perfect for you. As a platform, we host live online auditions so you can share your music with the entire world. Then we send you to incredible in-person venues like Carnegie Hall so you can perform solo, as a duo, as an ensemble, and with orchestra. This year we have a total of 4 gala events at Carnegie Hall, as well as 4 different opportunities to perform with orchestras in the US, in the Czech Republic, and even in Egypt. We want to help you fulfill your musical dreams. Go to soundespressivocompetition.com to check out our season and to apply.
Welcome to Virtual Concert Hall's live music channel. I'm James Welch, your host for today's show. We are connecting musicians and audiences in real-time performances and music news from around the globe. Well, today we continue with our Artist Portrait series, and we'll be featuring the fabulous composer Gong Yang. Yang's music in the 21st century modern classical music style, ranging from choral, movie soundtrack, TV, radio headlines, and gaming music, a soundscape to symphonic works such as Nature and Me, Symphonic Poem, and Dawn Awakening. The list goes on. His music is natural, easy listening, uplifting, and inspirational. As a composer, producer, and publisher, he has released 7 of his music albums. As an accomplished violinist, he is a twice prize winner of the Starling International Scholarship Foundation in the U.S. He pursued his violin studies with the legendary Professor Dorothy DeLay, Kurt Sassmanhaus at both Aspen Music Festival and Cincinnati College Conservatory of Music. While enjoying a successful career as a soloist and concert artist, Yang always kept keen interest in music composition. Focusing on his music production, Yang has studied a wide range of repertoire and a great diversity of music by Western masters. As a sensible composer, he is often inspired by the harmony between all the creatures in the universe. A lot of music ideas came to him when he was on his music tour. He was humming along and on the way to Nashville, and his heart was singing when he was driving in the Appalachian Mountains. Yang says he enjoys being close to nature, whether it is sunny, rainy. He feels the energy and harmony coming from everywhere. His albums are available on all the major platforms out there: Spotify, Verizon, Apple Music, Amazon, and it's everywhere. MySpace even. Wow. And so it has been well received throughout the U.S. and internationally. His music is reaching and touching human hearts in very intimate ways. And we have just a little clip that we could show that shows you a little bit about his albums, and we'll Oh, how lovely is that? And now we have the man himself with us here. Gong Yang, welcome to the show. How you doing today?
Good, very good. Very happy to see you again, Jim.
It's great to have you here. And Gong and I, for everyone who doesn't know, Gong and I and all of our staff just met at Carnegie Hall last week when we had his piece premiered, the Fantasy for Violin, Piano, and Orchestra. and it was just lovely, a wonderful time, and it yeah, it added so much to the program. It is
Yeah,
wonderful.
Carnegie Hall bring us together.
Y- y-
Music bring us
de-
together.
Definitely, yeah, it was lovely meeting you there, and it's lovely to have you here on the show today so that we can
Yes,
talk about that a little bit.
yes,
Um, we just showed a splash video that highlighted your albums, and I forget now. I read it in the bio, but how many albums do you have out?
7.
7.
Yes,
Wow, wow, that's amazing, and all original music written by you, and I need to check out all those. It was just wonderful.
when I was a kid, I always wanted to compose. But when I was little, I figured I know I need an instrument, either play a piano or play a violin, something. But when I was little, we only have a violin, so I chose the violin.
Oh wow. Well, it's definitely an instrument that's more travel ready. I mean,
Yes,
I
okay,
mean, piano, you get what they have, or maybe they
yeah,
don't have it. But you always have the violin you can travel with, and
right.
it
But
makes.
uh, to make a to make a composition career, sometimes it's by you have to. By the way, you find your own music language. Like there's Beethoven out there, Wagner, Brahms,
Hmm.
Bach. Each one of them have a distinct style of soundscape. The way how the notes connect. How the sonic, picture would unfold. So when you listen to Bach, you know it's Bach. It shouldn't be anybody else. Beethoven, few notes, you know the character. So, but for a modern composer, they are all giants. They are all like huge mountains. It's already over there. For the new composers, it's very hard to find where we fit. We have to find our own language. Otherwise, you write several bars, you become part of sound like a Beethoven, sounds like a
Indeed.
Tchaikovsky. They have a very strong like magnetic field, emotional field, and how they sound. And so that's very wonderful thing. But for
Hmm.
composer, it's very hard to stand alone. And for me, took me 20 years.
Only 20.
I, I, I start out, write my own piece when I was in the conservatory dorm. And when I have the inspiration, I start, write on paper. I could lay on my bed in the dorm, write on paper. When I feel
Mm.
so tired, I lay on one side to write. So just like you wrote until you're exhausted. But in the meantime, I know only 20% of the music I wrote down belong to my own. The
Mm.
80% belong to like a Prokofiev, all
Well,
those masters.
yeah. I
So
think in
that's
this
why I came
it
to US
yeah.
to study.
In this world,
Hmm.
I think we're all musical thieves in some ways. Like we have to get our inspiration somewhere, and then
Yeah,
kind of copy the ideas a little bit until we can originate and variate and
right.
all that. And it's you've definitely from what I heard on Thursday in Carnegie Hall, I have to say that you definitely mastered the art of originality. Because I thought, I mean, just for my taste, there was so much Western style and
Yes.
so much Eastern style influence all together. Like it was just like the perfect mix, and it was just so glorious to hear.
Thank you, Jim.
And there was definitely not any other piece on our program that was like that, and we had a lot of music.
Uh,
And
the East and West, for me, when I was little, I realized uh, Western music has so full of sound, the texture, the counterpoint, and harmony, and the symphonic sound. Uh, for the Eastern culture, uh, include some other Asian countries, they all have delicate melodic lines, and it's very intricate for that line. But however, it lack of the harmonics sound, the chunk of depth of the sonority, like the symphonic orchestra.
Yeah.
So I tried all the time, like daily, try to develop that kind of hearing, to develop inner hearing. And Dorothy DeLay and one of my teachers in the Central Conservatory, they all asked me to develop an inner hearing. You have to hear what before you play, before the sound come out, you have to
Mm-hmm.
hear it.
Oh,
And
indeed.
I use that idea usually when I compose. Is I already have the sound inside of me. So the hand is just like a tool. You just write out what you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's music compose me instead of I compose music in some way. It's hard to put it clear by words.
Well, I think
Mm-hmm.
the easiest way to say it is that you are the music. You are the melody. You are the
We
harmonies.
live
You're the
in the
whole
music.
thing.
Thank you.
And you were able to get that out on the staff paper so beautifully.
Yeah, talking
And
about this music just played in a Carnegie Hall. This piece, there's an interesting story behind it. Uh, More than 10 years ago, uh, one of my flutist friend, a great flutist, and one day he asked me, Gong, can you write something? This is an American flutist. And he asked me, right, um, can you write something for me? I'm going to China to do master classes, and I'm going to do some performances. Can you write something for me to play? So I say, okay, and let me think about it. Took me a week. And he wants something that all Chinese are familiar with, so that it's easier for him to build a bridge for them to understand. And he has great technique, of course. So after a week, uh, there's so many like folk tunes, so many Chinese songs. But what I thought about it, finally, I figured out it's called Kanding. Kanding folk song. It's southwest China, like in Guizhou,
wow.
Yunnan, in the mountains. I like mountains. So in those ethnic group of people, they enjoy dance and singing, and they have marvelous music talent. And but they don't write it down, and they just improvise, they sing, and this is a love song, like a boy and girls love song. And but what I heard about is they put this music counting um, counting love song into the orbit, uh, into the deep space. So
Oh,
it's one of the most popular songs
wow.
in whole China. That's why many people, they know this melody.
Oh,
And
that's
so
wonderful.
I figure maybe I just use that as part of the flavor so that he has something when he plays the flute, people can recognize it. And
Mm.
the result is he told me I didn't get enough chance to practice the whole thing. I played the only, this is the private talk, and but now it's become public. So, and I only managed to play the second half of it, part of it. And bear in mind, there was no cadenza because this is for flute. And he said, you know what? I got 6, 7 curtain calls. They
Wow.
are wild. They call me on stage, back on the stage, and I had a great time.
Wow.
So that's
Wow.
how it went. And after that, after a while, I figured, this is so popular, and seems a nice song. If he did not ask me to write, I wouldn't bother to pick a folk tune in China to put into my music album. And that was the first one I just used the folk tune
Wow.
into my music. And on the other hand, Williams is one of my idols. I enjoy his music, and very peaceful, very grand. And he likes seas. I enjoy the seas, mountains, and sometimes he used like a pentatonic structure. That's at least halfway to the Chinese way of listening. And
Wow.
so he's one of my favorite. And of course, Debussy, Ravel, I enjoy them. And so I, to share with you, I enjoy the Lark Ascending, that violin piece. I figure one day I read something, closer, similar to that. And also, I
Oh.
enjoy his Green Sleeves.
Mm.
He uses the folk tune, but without him to compose it, the Green Sleeves wouldn't reach that kind of popularity. So
Mm-hmm.
I kind of just follow his footsteps. And
Wow.
after this successful flute, six, seven curtain calls, I try to think how about I put this to the violin. Usually, when you have a flute piece, it's good for the violin. When you have a violin piece, sometimes it's also good for the flute.
Mm-hmm.
Like a Cacciatella concerto, and you know some flute,
Sure.
they played it, and that's how it went.
Wow. Wow. Well, I have to say, I mean, you mentioned like, the mountains and all that, and like
Yeah,
I had this image of like one of those old country western um
yes,
settings in my mind when I was hearing it, but like with the Chinese
yes,
folk song, and it was just neat. And it's neat that you mentioned the folk song too, because I actually had a Chinese person come up to me after and say, "What was that song? I know that tune somewhere," and she was humming it like crazy, and
right.
I was just thinking, well, we're gonna have to ask him because,
Yeah, this
um,
is a very popular tune.
yeah,
You go to England, if we perform this piece, some people we can easily find people know this tune.
yeah. So, I mean, did the folk song inspire you to write this, or what inspired you?
Uh it's this flutist inspired me, and
Mm,
he want to bring understanding to the audience and to bring better understanding, so that he want to choose some music from them
oh,
that
nice.
very widely to be known, to be loved, to be accepted,
Mm,
that kind of music. And so I tried 1 week, I tried to find something
wow.
that's most popular, you know, and from
Mm,
the folk elements. And
wow.
I started that. Of course, for a composer, you don't just use a tune, and I have to develop the 3D structure for the song, and
Wow.
also there's a second scene, and that second scene to me is from maybe Mongolia, but it's my
Mm.
own tune. Okay,
Oh, is that
and
the part that kind of goes into the F sharp major
it's
near the end? Oh, okay. Yeah.
and it's like shows the loneliness as a wide open area, and it's very personal.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a faster running, but it's more inward thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. I could definitely hear that now, even more so now that you've explained that.
Yeah, so it's a good contrast.
Where that clip that we just showed of your piece, where was that?
The which one?
The clip we showed at the beginning of the show. Um.
Okay, um, that one was performed in Chicago,
Okay. Wonderful.
2018, and it was in February, the coldest day. It's like
Was
a minus 40, 50 degrees.
wow. Was that the world premiere?
We could say with the orchestra, yes, that's a
Okay.
world premiere with
Okay.
Philip Simmons
And
and Lincolnwood Chamber Orchestra.
and was Carnegie the second performance, or was it one of many?
No, this is a Carnegie premiere.
Okay.
This is
Wonderful.
a second time to be
Wow.
performed.
Okay.
But
Well,
this time I feel it's Carnegie Hall, the sound has much warmth
yeah.
because of the the stage, and I feel this performance is much more, to me, it's more symphonic sound,
Mm.
more contrapuntal, and each element come back and forth inside out, and I feel, oh wow, and this is much fuller texture even.
Mm.
The
It
other
it
time performed in church,
it was
big church.
definitely, it
Yeah.
gave off that soft symphonic feeling. I wish we could show a clip from that, but unfortunately we can't show a clip from Carnegie Hall. But we did stream a little bit of the dress rehearsal, and I'd like to maybe show a clip of that right now, just to give the audience a taste, our audience today, a taste of what our audience at Carnegie Hall
Yeah.
witnessed. And let's show that clip now.
Okay.
Just wonderful. And yes, oh, and then yeah, we had a photographer snap a few pictures, as you're receiving your honors after. We had Stephen Song on violin and Ante Botric piano, and this Maestro Giacomo Franci with the New York Chamber Players Orchestra and at Carnegie Hall, and it was just wonderful. Congratulations to you. Bravo. Hats off.
Thank you.
It was
Thank you.
such a fun piece. Now, is this piece on any of your albums yet?
No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not
Soon. Yeah. And
Right.
we can find your albums on all excuse me. We can find your albums on all the major platforms. But you also have them here on your website as well. And
Yes.
why don't we just take a look at that for a second so people could see what they have here. Here's your website, and a nice picture of you there. And we go to album download. There it is. And look, here they are, right here. Yeah, who's that handsome guy? We have Space and Stars.
That was my
Yeah.
college years.
Yeah, but a few descriptions on Lean on Me. Nice. Sonic Wave, Sonic Spring, and all the places where we could get your music here. And are these all of them? Do you have any others coming out anytime soon?
For this Lean on Me, it's a Chicago painter. We are friends, and
Yeah.
he likes my music. I enjoy his painting. He has a studio on Michigan Avenue.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, and
Yeah.
you're going to be recording another piece with us in Czechia next month. And that is the the name of it is Strings Attached.
It's for
and
fun.
yeah, we're looking forward to having that on our album with the Bohuslav Martinu Philharmonic in Czechia, and to be released on the Cicerone Music and Arts label. Can you tell us just a little bit about that piece with maybe the few
Sure.
minutes we have left?
Yes. Strings attached. Mainly is usually I gave the title after I finished the piece, because I was thinking this is for a string orchestra. So strings. Me and my wife we were joking, and so I just put strings attached, but in a positive way, in a good way. There's always something good and something more of goodies come. That's how you understand the strings attached. And actually, you can think I could put a title like a prelude for this piece, for this string attached.
Oh, that's
And
wonderful. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, we look forward to that album release, and we can't say when that is yet, but we're excited to record that in Czechia next month and to have you there with us. Will you be there with us?
Are you going to be there too?
Yeah, I will be there. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And
The
that's wonderful.
part of
And
the team will be there, and we'll have Maestro Sargsyan conducting, and yeah, we're gonna have a great time there.
Okay.
and
And this piece has two distinctive themes. The first theme, like all the 16th notes, and the like a motive, and driving. You can something to think about like a Smetana's butter bread. The beginning part of it, the prelude of that opera, all the 16th, and the Bartok concerto for orchestra, the end of part of like the last movement, all the 16 notes from the strings, and I figure I will have something different. This one should be very clear, and itself is a melody, and counter with that has a dancing like melody, and with the lower strings, it's more like a something similar with Chaplin, but in a modern time. You kick more angular and quicker, more dance, more energy.
Oh, how wonderful! Well,
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear it. It's always fun sitting in the recording sessions, and even more fun listening to the albums after, and just in the car or at home. And
Right.
we're all gonna have that available in the near future. And
Yes.
oh yes, and look, we have a comment from LinkedIn. Wow, it reminds me, butterfly lovers, that I conducted many times when I was a conductor in China. Yeah,
This
how
is a
wonderful.
love story. Yeah,
It,
in that sense, it is.
it's a beautiful piece. Before we sign off, do you
Mhm.
have any words of wisdom you'd like to share with younger composers or young and aspiring composers?
Yeah. And music, to me, it's just like the nature itself. And the mountains, the waters. This time, when I drove with my wife to New York, and we crossed the Washington Bridge, and on top of the bridge, so many cars, and we were just that much closer, to bump each other. But and nobody bumped each other, so it's busy, and you can think. Some people think, oh, this is chaotic, but there's a harmony in between those cars. And when we drove on top of the bridge, we look at the Hudson River. You can think there's a melody out there. They are flying on top of everything, all the cars. So many people, and it's like to me, New York. It feels like a gigantic symphonic piece. Every people has a note in that symphony. It's wonderful.
There's definitely some wonderful counterpoint
Yes,
and polyphony there
right.
in that city.
In that city. Yes, right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. To its own unique nature as well.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's right.
wonderful. Well, there we have it. Words of wisdom and stories of greatness from the master Gong Yang himself. And before we completely sign off, I'd just like to mention we have new programs. We're live every afternoon, and we portray many of our artists, past participants, teachers, and present new and unique topics in the field of music and education. And we're streaming on every platform, and you can leave comments if you're watching on every platform. As you saw, we had a LinkedIn comment. We could mostly on YouTube, but also Twitter and Facebook. So you can always leave a comment there. We have many supporters who have helped make all of our projects and operations possible, and look at how many of them there are there. It's just unbelievable, and we couldn't do it without all of your help. Thank you, supporters. Thank you to private teachers and families out there who slave away to make all of this possible. It starts with the teachers and the family supporting the art and funding it, and just there's a lot that goes into it other than just regular practice and regular lessons. It's a labor of love, and we couldn't do it without all of those people. And on this broadcast here, we could not do what we do without our team. And we have many people on our team behind the scenes here, and behind and on, and just doing everything and anything. And thank you, team. Gong,
Yes.
we thank you for being here with us today. Our congratulations to you again on all of your success, and we wish you the best going forward.
Thank you. This is a wonderful, wonderful organization
Oh,
for our modern work.
well, thank you. Thank you. We're so happy to have you a part of this, and hopefully have you back again.
Sure. Thank you.
We'll
I'm all in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll
You
continue
have my support.
Exactly, yes. And we'll continue tomorrow with our artist portraits. Every day we're going to have someone new, so tune in. I'm James Welch here from Progressive Musicians and Virtual Concert Halls, and you've been watching the Artist Portrait series. Stay tuned for more this week, and bye-bye for now.
Perform on our galas at Carnegie Hall. Our new season of auditions for classical musicians is now available. Performance opportunities for students, young professionals, and seasoned artists. Perform as a soloist or chamber ensemble at Carnegie Hall. Perform a concerto with the New York Chamber Players at Carnegie Hall. Composers submit their works to be premiered at Carnegie Hall. New this season, Laureate ensembles at Carnegie Hall. Audition to be part of a 3-day intensive workshop directed by some of the world's master musicians, culminating with a performance at Carnegie Hall. Audition live from the comfort of your own home. Get live evaluations from expert judges and expand your online presence through our international internet broadcasts. Additional award and performance opportunities are also available. Visit our website for full details. Don't miss out on these wonderful opportunities to advance as a musician and perform on a world-renowned stage. We look forward to hearing your performances.